Alright, so now what I'm going to do is take out the print head of the Viper. So the first thing you do is remove the encoder strip from its casing. You just basically push down and slide out. Alright, you can hit the print head release button, so that way it slides back and forth. The way this thing comes out, and the easiest way to do the print head, is that the print head itself is spring loaded down here on the sides. So from here, I can push forward and then, or actually, I'm sorry, push back and then lift up over these rails. So that way the print head comes out. The next thing we're going to do is take the belt off the gear over here on the side. That way it comes out of its housing. And I can slide this, flip it upside down, or do whatever I need to it. I'm going to actually take the belt out of its housing. Always remember that where it's located at, the teeth actually stop right there. So then I can flip the print head over and then remove the housing. To remove the housing, there's 3 screws located, one right here, and then one on the base. Careful not to drop your screws. A magnetic screwdriver really helps. Alright, once you have those 3 screws removed, you can actually wiggle the print head and it will release from the dampers. Slide out like this, it pulls forward. Alright, so now to get the print head itself out of its individual housing, there are 3 screws located, one right here, and one back here. So we'll take those 3 out. Alright, so once that comes out, you can just slide the print head right out, being careful not to let the foam pieces fall out of their placing. Just set that to the side, and you can remove the ribbon cables from the side of the head by holding them and lightly catty-cornering it off. Set the carriage to the side here. You can take a look at the print head, make sure that the connectors are all fine, and things like that. Alright, so now what we're going to do is put this back in. Alright, to put this back in, we have to attach our ribbon cables first. So if you were putting, imagine this is a brand new head. Alright, so what we'll do is do the inside one, and make sure it's basically going to line up like it would be on the machine. Use the blue plastic is a little bit stiffer, so you can use it to catty corn in. Never force a ribbon cable in, because you could bend up one of the connectors. Oops. Like that. Bottom one. Once you have the ribbon cables back in, make sure that they're nice and snug. Alright, now we got to put the bottom casing back on. Alright, over here on the side, there's a metal prong right there, and you just got to make sure that the foam doesn't get pinched down inside here. Alright, slide this back in. Pull it lines back up. Make sure it's even. Clean off any kind of residual ink that's over here on the side little ramps that are beside the print head. And you'll put your screws back in. The 3 screws that have the smaller head are the ones that attach to the actual head itself. Nice and snug. And then when placing the head back onto the dampers themselves, make sure the dampers are on line. And then you're going to slide the print head back on it. There's a little fork over here on the side that needs to be pried out just a hair so that way it doesn't get tucked up underneath. So you just use your little screwdriver, just bend it out a little bit, line it up. The dampers fit right onto their posts that are on the print head, and then you can put the 3 screws that mount it back on. Sure they're nice and snug themselves. Magnetic screwdriver, extremely helpful here. Alright, now we got to place the print head back in. Alright, to do so, we have our drive belt. Pull it back around. I'll just kind of lean this in here for now. And you can actually see that there's a little black spot on the belt, but it's also exactly where the belt starts. It's smooth on one side and then it has a grip on the other. When you slide this back in, line it up, tucks right back into place. If you need to, you can use a little screwdriver to kind of pry it in there. So that lines up with those teeth. Alright. Now we're ready to put the actual belt back onto its gear. Make sure the belt doesn't get twisted. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to make sure that the head is in its position. To do this, it's good to have a nice top view of it. And you're basically going to catty corner the print head in, making sure that the rails do not split apart. They do come apart very easily with these bearings here. So we line it up so it's in perfect location. You push in and then go straight down, making sure to not have those rails split apart on you. And making sure that the belt's not up underneath the ring too. Okay, so now that I have that side, push in, down, and back on. Slides in perfect. Alright, so then I'm going to reattach my belt here. Oh. And you basically just pull it over here to the side and twist it back on. So that way the print head slides back and forth smoothly. I'll replace my encoder. And that's installing a print head. Make sure it locks into position, and you're good to go.